Welcome to East Atlanta Church, where ministry is made simple by Pastor Jéan L. Ward.
Amen.
Sorry, give me a second, but first of all, I want to say good morning. Good morning. How are we doing this morning? How are we doing this morning? All right. I really have missed you all, you know. I've been praying with you. How many of y'all on your fast? How many of y'all sticking to the fast? Is it a challenging moment? I've called myself maybe some challenging moments, but have you seen God move though, in the midst of it? I know last time I was here, my wife had spoken some things that God had said and showed me, and I know quite a few of you have gone through some of those things in the process. And in that, I have to say, even myself, our daughter, I was in a plane going to Arizona about 2 weeks ago. And, you know, being a father, you know, one thing about it is you want to cover your household, right? Amen. So you can imagine I'm 5 miles in the air and I'm texting my wife, and my wife is here with you all on that Sunday. And she texts me and I'm like, how's everything going? She's going great, you know. The guys getting ready to minister, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it should be such and such. She's like, okay. And then the next thing I get a text from her, she says, can you call me? And I'm like, okay, I'm 5 miles in the air, but I can't really call you right now. I said, is everything okay? She says, yeah, but no. I said, what's wrong? She says, JL, our daughter, she's been in an accident. Now, as a father being 5 miles in the air, you know, and I'm not at Creflo Dollar status where I can tell the pilot to turn around because it ain't my plane. But I'm flying over Tucson almost, getting ready to land in Arizona, in Phoenix. And I'm sitting here, what do I do? But just to let you know, my daughter was okay. They ended up totaling out the car. But the greatest thing about it is God opened up a door for another blessing. You know, He released for some things, and it showed me the maturity of her. But the greatest thing that it did show me was the fact that how my family was able to handle things in my absence. All right. And the reason I'm saying that is when you're a man and you build a foundation in your household, and the thing is, a lot of men feel that the purpose of them is to always be the one that the family depends on. A true leader is not someone that you depend on. A true leader teaches you how to depend on yourself. A true leader teaches you how to build for yourself. It means that we can cooperatively do this, because I don't need for you to depend on me to make me feel like I'm about something. Okay, too many times we're having boys being raised by girls that are trying to tell them to feel good about yourself, to have people to uplift you all the time. Yes, men do need positive affirmation, ladies. Don't get me wrong. That is what fuels us. Remember, we were created in the image of God, which is the Spirit of God. And we all say, well, if praises go up, blessings come down. Okay, so we know God loves praise, right? Amen. So therefore, the same Spirit that God has, man has. Don't you like being appreciated? Don't you like being told you look good? Don't you like those kind of things? Well, we like those things too, don't we? Amen. So, but the thing is, man, we can't just live off of those things. We have to also empower the women and the children in our life. Amen. So I just want to drop that little bit with you while we get ready for service. Thank you. That it taught me, if it didn't teach me anything else, and that is to make sure that I am being the leader and training and conditioning my household that God has given me charge over to be able to handle things in my absence. Isn't that what Christ did? That's right. You know, so with that same thing, I believe that you all have a pastor that's doing the same thing for you. All right. You know, so as we get started, I want y'all to first just give Pastor Hodo a hand clap of praise. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Can y'all hear me now? Yeah. All right. Amen. You know, so this morning, I know that we've been going through some things, we've been learning. I know y'all looked at me and was like, you know, here come that little preacher here, dress any kind of way you want to dress all the time. I know, I do. It's okay. It's all right. But that's just me, because I'm going to be who I am. Amen. All right. We ought to start being who you are. Amen? Amen. If you want to wear a suit and tie, wear a suit and tie. That's right. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to wear some jeans, wear some jeans. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Come as you are. Be who you are. Okay? Sometimes, y'all see, I wear a tie. Sometimes I'm wearing jeans. But here's the thing. The whole thing about it is, what is it that God wants us to do and the purpose behind it? Now, as you came in, did everybody get a little Jenga piece?
Yeah.
Anybody not get a Jenga piece? If you didn't get a Jenga piece, raise your hand. I know we got some more left over, don't we? Who has the Jenga pieces? The usher? Where's she at? Okay, y'all get, I want to make sure everybody gets one.
They're gone.
They're all gone? Are you serious? Wow. I thought there were more pieces than that. Okay. But today what I really want to deal with is everything we do in life, we can't do it haphazardly. We have to have a plan. So today what we're going to be dealing with, we're going to be dealing with the blueprint. We'll have that up there in a second. And I got notes for you. I want y'all to make sure as we go, we're taking notes, if you got to take a picture of it. But we're going to be dealing with the blueprint. Now, if you don't understand what a blueprint is, the blueprint is actually the instructional dynamics of an architectural building that you're going to be presenting. Okay? What does that mean? That means that before you build anything, you have to know the schematics of it. Okay? And in that aspect, that means you got to know what it's looking like. You got to know how much you're working with. You got to know how much, and what I'm working with, how much area, land mass you're working with. Then you have to know how many dollars you're working with. And you have to know your aerial of dynamics of dimension that you're working with, and also your foundational dynamics of what you're working with. So, in other words, we got to understand how wide we got to go, how high we got to go, how deep we got to go, and what it's going to cost us. So I want you to write that down. Before you do anything, you got to know how wide you're going to go, how deep you're going to go, how high you're going to go, and what it's going to cost you. Because understand, ain't nothing free. Did you get me on there? That nothing is free. We deal with men, but men, we know ain't nothing free. It's costing us something, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand. So if you would turn to Genesis chapter 11, start with verse 1. We're going to pick up with this guy named Nimrod. Y'all heard of Nimrod?
Yeah.
Okay, now, when I was growing up, I went to Woodward Academy. I went to, majority white and black. And one of the terms they used to talk about, somebody said, you're a Nimrod. Anybody heard that term before? Yeah. It's an old school. I don't know say it now. And I didn't understand where it came from. But it was a derogatory term when you're talking about someone. And this guy named Nimrod was a great leader. I mean, this dude was awesome. He just was misdirected, like a lot of leaders are. Napoleon, good leader, misdirected. You understand? So we have these individuals. Funny about when men get in the power, we kind of lose our direction. No, y'all don't want to give me amen on that. We lose direction. Okay? Because why do we lose direction? Because we weren't continuing on with the blueprint. Okay? So what happens here, Nimrod was a great warrior, and the thing is, everybody at this time spoke the same language. Now I want you to get that. Everybody spoke the same language. So we pick up in chapter 1, it says, and I'm reading from the Amplified Version. It says, now the whole earth spoke one language and used the same words or the vocabulary. And as people journeyed eastward, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. They said one to another, come, let us make bricks of fire and fire them thoroughly in a kindle to harden and strengthen them. So they took used bricks for stone as building material, and they used tar, bitumen, asphalt for mortar. They said, come, let us build a city for ourselves, and a tower whose top will reach into the heavens. And let us make a famous name of ourselves, so that we will not be scattered into separate groups, and be not dispersed over the surface of the entire earth, as the Lord instructed. Now the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, behold, they are one unified people. And they all have the same language. This is only the beginning of what they will do in rebellion against me. And now No evil thing they imagine can do will be impossible for them. Come, let us, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, go down and confuse and mix up their language so that they will not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad and from there over the city of Babel. Because there the Lord confused the language on the earth, and from the place the Lord scattered and dispersed them over the surface of the earth. Amen. When we build together, nothing is impossible.
All right.
See, let me give you the understanding of what was happening here. We have these people that had traveled, and they had won wars, and they had been victorious, and it was all one people, one language, one nation. And they said, you know, no matter what, I want people to know who we are.
All right.
We see that in today's societies, entertainers. They want to build, everybody has their crew. You know, everybody has their entourage, and they want to build a name for themselves. One of the greatest things I always notice about rappers and entertainment is that once they get a little CD out, now they want to start a production company. Everybody got, well, you know, I got my own production company. I got my own, because they want to do what? Make a name for themselves.
All right.
You know, I mean, even when I thought about it, I was watching the Tupac movie, All Eyes on Me. I know, yeah, yes, Pastor went to see All Eyes on Me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I was watching the movie, and one of the things that happened was when they showed where Tupac wanted to leave and start his own. And Suge Knight was like, nah, you ain't got to really start your own. You can start your own up under mine, because he wanted to produce his name. Now, I want you to think this for a second. In our society, in church today, we're so busy trying to make a name for ourselves. If you don't believe me, why do you think social media is so important? Because people are trying to present themselves in such a fashion that other people will know their name and they will follow them. They even get mad when people don't follow them. They do things, they have things where people want to pay to get more people to follow them. Why? Because they want to make a name for themselves. Churches do the same thing. They want to make a name for themselves. But the problem is they're not following a blueprint of this. And God has shown us in this scripture, one of the things we realize, they say it's a bad text, but the greatest text about it is it gives the truth behind what happens when we all come together. The first thing that we have to understand, and it says we got to realize, what is it we're trying to accomplish? What is it we're trying to accomplish? That's your first point. Should be up there. What is it we're trying to accomplish? What is the purpose? You know, and we're going to look at this from a church standpoint, kingdom standpoint, and a relationship standpoint. Okay? When you get into a relationship with someone, how many of you have ever asked, what are you trying to accomplish with this person? Now, men already, we know what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, we do. But ladies, you know, y'all, what were you all trying to accomplish? And y'all had things. You wanted somebody to be a covering for you, somebody to be a provider, a protector. Am I right?
Amen.
I mean, come on, we grown, we adults here, right? Okay? When you get a job, go to a job or apply for a job, you go in there to try to accomplish something, right? What is it? Is it that, are you taking the job because it's a stepping stone to something else? Are you taking the job because you need money to pay for your lifestyle? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Well, in the church, we got to ask that same question. Many of us go to church and we never ask the question, what is it we're trying to accomplish? You'll join a church and want to know the vision of the church.
Well, okay, good question.
You got to have a vision. The vision is what you're trying to accomplish.
Well.
But if you don't know it, how can you be a part of it?
All right, good thought.
Somewhere it says, you know, when there's no vision, the people what? Oh, wow. So that means that in other words, if you don't know the direction that you're going to die. That's why many of your marriages died, because you didn't have a vision of the direction that you were going. That's why your family died, because you didn't have a vision of the direction that your family was going. You never set a precedent. The only thing you might have said is, for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's all you had. But that brings me to the next point that I want you to understand is, what the purpose of why you're doing it.
Why are you doing it?
What's your purpose?
That's right.
Why do you want to serve the Lord? Why do you want to go to church? Why do you belong to New Morning Light?
Yeah, why you want to be here?
You know? Yeah, why do you want to be here? Some of us say, I don't want to be here.
That's true.
I'm just saying, tell the truth, shame the devil, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell you, as a pastor, sometimes we don't want to be here either. You know, I mean, I got to tell the truth. I can't lie up here. But the thing is, it's not even about us.
Right.
It's about a greater call. And you got to understand what is the purpose. What's the purpose? Maybe I hear it all the time. Ladies, I'm not knocking you. Please understand. I love you. I love sisters. But here's the thing. Men never grew up thinking about a big wedding. Y'all know that.
That's right. Amen. You're right, sir.
Matter of fact, most of us said we ain't never get married. Okay? Now we love y'all, we just don't want to marry y'all. It was just the thought of just being with one for the rest of our lives. Somewhere just didn't sound right. You know? But, you gotta say it again. But the realness behind it was, you all had these big fancy ideas and princess weddings and things like that. You know, I grew up, you know, a long time ago when I think General Hospital was one of the biggest shows out. And that was that Luke and Laura? Yeah. And how many of y'all remember that wedding? How many of y'all VCR that wedding because you couldn't watch? Y'all not know. Oh, yes, y'all know. You know, that was like the biggest thing when Princess Diana got married. It was all on the TV, wasn't it? And they just had somebody else got married. I don't know who it was, some royalty person everybody was talking about. But, you know, you all fantasized about that. We didn't. So therefore, that wasn't our purpose. That wasn't why we're doing it. But did you ever ask, what does marriage look like? And what's the purpose? And what's the purpose of marriage? When you join a church, you're actually marrying into that family, the king of that church.
Good thought. Good thought.
You understand? I mean, you think, and the thing is, I'm not stretching here, but somewhere in the Bible it says something about the bride of Christ.
That's right.
Was the church, wasn't it? Oh, okay. So I'm just dealing with what the Bible says. So therefore, you have to present yourself as a holy living sacrifice, which is your work, which is your true worship. This is the Bible. Okay? That's what your true worship is, your sacrifice.
Right.
But what is that? But what is the purpose of that? We have to find out, why is it we're going to do what we do? We're going to build this building. Nimrod, they were building the building. And their first thing is, they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to build a tower and a city.
Right.
Now, here at New Morning Light, we want to build a church that will reach people that are lost. I kind of believe that. Is that what it is?
Yes.
And then to educate those that are seeking Christ, to be more like Christ, to reach those like Christ. Okay, each one to reach one and teach one to be more like Christ, right? Okay, so here it is. That's what we want to accomplish. Now, what's the purpose of it? The purpose of it is this. The purpose of it is because that's what God commissioned us to do, one. Okay? And two, because we realize that if we got more people to live and love and learn like Christ, then a lot of things that happen in our community will cease.
All right.
Crime will cease.
All right.
Bad marriages will cease.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, poor attitudes will cease. Murder will cease. All these things that are going on will cease. Why? Because there are more people that are living like Christ. Did you realize there will be more family unity because of that?
Amen. All right.
See, I'm just showing the purpose of why we want to do this. Well, why does it have to be New Morning Light? Then my question is, why not?
That's right. That's right. Amen.
Why not?
Why not?
This is God's house, right?
That's right.
And that was the reason that He established the churches for the Great Commission, amen?
That's right.
Okay? That means to go out and evangelize, right?
Right.
But see, here's the thing. You can't go out and do nothing if your home ain't right.
That's right. All right.
Okay?
All right.
See, here's the thing. Men, you can't go out and tell your wife and your kids nothing unless you got yourself together.
Whoa.
Because they're going to look at you and like, and?
Whoa. Lord Jesus.
You know? I'm just being honest.
That's right.
So you got to get yourself together. Parents, you can't. I grew up, do as I say, not as I do. Anybody ever heard that?
Yeah.
That doesn't work today. Okay? See, one thing I love about Jesus is He said, listen, don't just do what I say, do as I do.
That's right.
Okay? He even told them, well, I want to sit the right hand, I want to sit the left. He said, nah, drink from this cup.
That's right.
If you want to do what Jesus did, you got to do what Jesus did.
That's right.
Did you hear what I just said? Oh, y'all want to go lay hands on folk and start talking to them and talk about what God's going to do and the healing and this and the other? You got to be able to sacrifice like Christ.
Amen. Yeah.
So, therefore, we have to understand what the purpose is.
Right.
And the purpose that they had there is they wanted to make a name for themselves.
That's right.
They wanted to make a name for themselves. They wanted to be seen. Now, we don't do this because we want to be seen. We're doing this because we want God to be seen.
That's right. Amen.
So our lifestyle should illuminate Christ.
All That's right.
It should not illuminate you.
That's right. Not self.
Okay? It should be about Christ.
Amen.
It should be about the kingdom.
Amen.
And what we miss in that, in this, because we're not sticking with the blueprint.
Right.
Now, the greatest blueprint is already laid with us, and that's the Bible, which is the foundation. Now, remember I told you, we got to count up the cost. That brings the next thing. Step 3. What are the materials we need to accomplish our goal? What are the materials we need? If you notice in the scripture, the first thing they did is they said what they wanted to do, what they wanted to accomplish. The next thing they said was a purpose of why they wanted to do it for people to see them. The next thing, before they started doing it, they counted up all the material they had to build a tower, did they not?
Yeah.
It gave you the instructions. Christ does the same thing. He says, listen, what do you need? I'm going to give you everything you need. Okay? So what we got to do is we have to look at what we have. Now, funny thing about with church folk, and even in marriages, we want to talk about, well, you know, if I had more money, I could show her my love. You ever heard that before? I'm sure you heard. If I had more time, Pastor, I'd show up for church. Pastor, you know, if we had this meeting, then we could probably do something better. Pastor, if we built this over here, then more people will come. This is not Field of Dreams. Okay? It ain't if you build it, they will come. It's if you go out there and you begin to do it, they going to come, and then it will build. See, God's going to add the increase, okay? But you got to get out there and plant the seed. Stop waiting on somebody else. Stop talking about what you don't have. Look at what you do have that God has given you. Every single person that got a miracle from Christ had their miracle already tied up in you. So why are we making excuses? My marriage isn't working because of, no, your marriage isn't working because you're not trying to make it work.
That's right.
My kids, if they would just know your kids act because you ain't doing what it tells them to get them to act right. That sometimes you got to be diligent. I'm going to tell you, sometimes I've been pastoring there for 20 years, and I'm going to tell you, I woke up many mornings wanting to quit.
Well,
Just want to give up.
Amen.
Because church folk will drive you crazy.
Whoa.
You know? I mean, I'm like, I asked my wife sometimes, is it worth it?
Woo!
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact of, hear me clearly, that I love the Lord and I'm scared of hell, I would have probably quit a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because see, I know for a fact if I stop, I know what's going to happen to me. See, I know y'all talk about that once saved, always saved. Understand, here's the thing. I do believe you can quit a team.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can.
You understand? And if you don't want to do your job, that's called quitting the team.
That's right.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, here's the thing. I have the material that I need. You have the material that you need. And you work with it.
Yeah.
You know, well, Pastor, I want my household in order, but I don't have the finances to pay all my bills. Okay, well, maybe you need to look at your lifestyle and downsize some things. You know? Maybe you might need to learn how to cut your own hair. You ever thought about that?
All right.
You know, well, my wife want to get her hair done and all this, and, you know, maybe you need to figure out how to do her hair. Maybe. I'm just saying. You might have, you say you're good with your hands, dog. I'm just saying. You know, I mean, whatever it is, you got to make it happen.
Right.
Okay? And the whole thing is God has equipped every single person with everything that you need. But you have to look at what you have. In the King James Version, when it talked about what they were building, it said the word was used was slime. And I was reading this to my wife, and she was like, "What? Slime? Yeah." That's what they had to use to put the brick together. That's what was going to hold it together. And the same thing, the funny thing about this, you remember the children of Israel, okay? Now remember, this is after the great flood and everything, all right? Now remember the children of Israel, okay, that happened later on, the mass exodus. The Pharaoh, he made them begin to make bricks with no straw. And guess what they did? He made them make bricks with no straw, and then increased the amount of bricks they had to make.
That's right.
And they did it. See, what I'm trying to get you to understand is, it doesn't matter what you don't have. What you have is more than enough.
That's right. Amen.
Okay? So let's stop talking about, well, if we did, if we had, if this was the case. No, work with what we got right now.
All right. Say it, preacher.
Everything you need, you have. Okay? And I know y'all got money. Y'all ain't never had no days that you've been hungry and wanted to eat. You know, y'all don't know nothing about that right there. But I can tell you this. I know some days But guess what? I didn't die.
Come on.
I've had some days that I didn't eat, but I didn't die. Matter of fact, I had some days that I had to get to work and wasn't no gas in the car, but I got there. You understand?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I ran out of gas, it wasn't because I didn't have money. It was because I was too lazy to go to the gas station. And I had money. I ain't never ran out of gas when I was short on gas. Did you hear what I said? When I'm serving the purpose of God, God always provided for me. Okay, now when I was serving the purpose of man, that was a whole different story. Okay? So here, that's what I said. You have everything that you need to accomplish the goal. So I need y'all to stop making excuses. And when people come to you saying, if I had. And what is this? What are these materials that we need? I want you to look at Galatians 5 and 22 to 23. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love,
Come on.
joy,
Right.
peace,
Right.
forbearance,
Yeah.
kindness, goodness, faithfulness,
Yeah.
gentleness, and self-control, which is called discipline. Discipline.
My Lord.
Now see, we'll talk about self-control, but we don't want to deal with that word called discipline. But what I love this. But we'll talk about that word discipleship.
Yeah.
But you can't be a disciple
Watch out.
without discipline.
Say it.
You can't be disciplined without self-control.
That's right.
And you can't fast without any of it.
Whoa.
So you want to know why you have a problem with your fast? Because you're not disciplined.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
And I know this is a feel-good message. I know y'all used to be saying nice things. But today I need you to grow. I need you to grow. Okay? Because this, I told you, we got to go wide, we got to go high, and we got to go deep.
That's it.
Okay? So, here's the thing. You got to have discipline and self-control. It says you have to have joy. Joy means this, and I'm going to be real quick with this. Joy means is not about happiness. God didn't promise you happiness, because we all know happiness is something that's tied to what's happening in your life. Okay? Remember that. I like crab legs. Crab legs are going to make me happy tomorrow night if I go have some.
All right.
Okay? But if I have some Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, they ain't going to make me happy no more.
All right.
Did you follow that? Did you follow that? Guys, that's why she said if you only do this, she'll be happy. No, it doesn't work that way.
All right.
In other words, stop trying to make them happy and just bring joy to the household.
All right.
All right? Joy. See. But see, if they work on joy, happiness happens. Happiness will come.
He sure.
Happiness will come. But you can't seek happiness over joy.
All right.
You got to seek joy over happiness.
That's right.
Okay? Joy makes you grateful. And see, joy comes from love. That's how the first thing you notice he said it was love. That was the first part of the fruit of the Spirit. It says forbearance, forgiveness, kindness, and goodness. Faithfulness. That means that you got to be diligent. See, discipline and diligence is two totally different things.
All right.
Okay, that means that you can be disciplined in something but still not be consistent in it.
Tell him
Okay? I mean, you're disciplined in how you serve the Lord,
now.
but you're unfaithful in how you come to service.
Well. Amen.
You understand?
Amen.
I love the Lord and I'm disciplined in everything I do, but you don't show up.
Whoa. Lord Jesus.
You know, one of the greatest things I hear people all say, Pastor, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't you show up? Why don't you be here?
Amen.
Why don't you partake?
Amen.
Why don't you take action?
Watch out.
You understand? Instead of us always trying to look at what somebody else needs to do, why don't we look at ourselves and what we need to do?
That's right.
Because right now, I know we can all be better, can't we?
Yes.
We all can make a better change of action.
Yes. More better.
But that's what we have to do.
Amen.
Then the fourth thing we have to ask ourselves is, are we willing to sacrifice?
Lord Jesus. Well.
Are you willing to sacrifice? See, when they looked at the material, they counted it up, then they had to sacrifice. But what do you mean by sacrifice? And that means that they did a right now thing. If you notice, this didn't even take up a whole book, did it?
No, it didn't.
I mean, literally, building the tower didn't take up a whole chapter.
Right.
The tower only took a couple of passages.
That's right.
You know? But see, in the church, when we want to build, we want to build a whole new Bible just to talk about building the church.
Right.
We want to take forever just to get it to happen.
Yes.
And he said it doesn't take all of that. Matter of fact, Christ did what he did in 3 years. So why is it taking us 15 years to get a church right.
Lord Jesus.
Let me say that again. What Christ did, he did in 3 years. Why does it take us 15 years to get a church right? What Christ did, let me answer. It took him 3 years.
That's right.
Because I believe he was 30, wasn't he? And then he died at 33, right? Okay, that one at 3, 33, okay, 3. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? Okay, he gave 1 year to the Father. He was, the next he gave the Holy Spirit. The 3rd year was his. And he gave it up. It was done. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, because he sacrificed himself. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to sacrifice. You know what they did? Once they realized that we know what we want to do, we know why we want to do it, we got what we need to do, let's do it. They went right away to building the tower.
That's right.
They didn't talk about, well, you know, I think, no. This was, they followed the leader, but I want you to get this thing. They said they all spoke the same language. That means that they were all the same vocabulary. That means that they were communicating with each other. One of the problems we can't get out of there because we don't communicate. We don't want to. You don't want to communicate with your children. You don't want to communicate with your spouse. You don't want to communicate with your job, and you sure don't want to communicate with the pastor. Now y'all communicate with each other all day long about us, but y'all don't communicate with us. Okay? Don't communicate about me unless you communicate with me. All right? That's all I'm saying. Come talk to me. Talk to me. You want to talk to me about somebody else? Talk to me about you. Come on. I'm going to put that right there. That's it. All right? So they had communication. We got to communicate. One language. And that should be the language of love of Christ.
That's right.
The bottom line. That means that, you know what? I love Pastor Hodo. He comes to me sometimes, and I know it may bother me, it may hurt me, but you know what? It doesn't, because I know it's coming out of love.
That's right.
So if he comes to me and says, Lord, listen, this is what you said, and I don't think you need to do it that way. You know, it's coming out of love.
That's right. All right.
He's not trying to kill me.
That's right.
You know? It's coming out of love. My daughter would say to me all the time, she's like, Daddy, you know, she always asks this question. She used to ask Daddy, why do you always have to be right?
That's right.
My response is opposed to what? Being wrong? I'm just saying, is that a good question? She's like, no, Dad, even when you're right, you don't have to always be right. You don't have to let everybody know you're right. You don't have to push it. Just be quiet sometimes. You know? She says, Mommy, it gets on Mommy's nerves. That's why she got an attitude, because you're always trying to push the issue of you being right. If you know you're right, leave it alone.
All right.
You know, but the man side of me is, but I'm the covering, I'm the head, I'm the spiritual authority. I have to make sure that things are decent in the order. You know, and God was like, listen, I don't even do that with you, so that wasn't my blueprint. He said, he told us to do what I do. Lead and love through action.
That's right. Amen.
You know? Lead and love through action. So therefore, we have to understand that. We have to get to that point. See, and I had to sacrifice. That means I have to sacrifice trying to prove a point. And prove me right. I don't get it right still. You can ask my wife. She'll tell you I still sometimes will argue with side was. Okay? But pray for me on that. I got to learn how to sacrifice with that. But what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? They had to give up time to build this tower.
Right.
Okay? And then the great thing is they had to give up, watch this, their authority.
Right.
They had to give up authority. Why? Because here's the thing about it. There are people, when you're building a construction, I work with construction, I'm not a construction worker. I work with construction companies. Okay? I'm a chaplain for construction companies. And when I'm working with a real big project, and one of the things I've noticed when I was like, there's so many different guys that do so many different things. You know? And I remember this thing that they told me. I got to be very candid how I say this. But there was a crane that was lifting this big plate. And I'm being as very vague as I can intentionally. This is this big plate. And there's a crane operator, and then there's a spotter. Anybody know what a spotter is? That's your flag guy. And that's what guides the guy in the crane, telling him which way to go. You know, that's how we're supposed to be going and everything. In other words, and I look at the spotter, and that guy is like the Holy Spirit that's telling us which way to go. And we're operating the crane, and we're going. Well, what happened is there was a break in communication between the spotter and the crane operator. The battery died. on the walkie-talkie. Now, the crane operator, because his battery died, didn't hear the spotter telling him to move it, that he was too close to something.
Well.
And he hit the roof on something and messed something up.
All right.
Millions of dollars mess up.
All right.
All because of a 9-volt battery.
Right.
Okay?
All
I
right.
don't know if it was Energizer or Duracell.
Oh, yeah.
But you realize it wasn't no Everett. You know, but it died. Now here's the thing. It made me think, when we're not listening to the Holy Spirit and sacrificing, we're missing when He's telling us to move.
Thank you.
Because we have a breakdown in communication.
Thank you.
But when we sacrifice ourselves, we tune ourselves, our spiritual radio, into knowing what it sounds like. Okay? And that's what we have to do. We have to begin to sacrifice ourselves. That means the things of the flesh. The more we indulge in, is what we're going to become more of. But if we indulge more in the Spirit of God, we become more like God. Okay? If what you feed yourself is what you're going to produce.
All right.
Okay? Now, I'm trying to lose weight. So therefore, one of the things I realized is I got to watch my calorie intake. But watching my caloric intake, I realized that there's certain things that are not healthy for me that I have high in calories. So that means if I eat a Big Mac, that means if I eat a Big Mac super value meal, that's all I can eat for the rest of the day.
All right.
Now some people say, well, I'll sacrifice that because that's the only meal I'm going to eat, but that's unhealthy.
That's right.
Because half of that stuff in there is garbage and your system can't take it. The other thing is you're starving your body.
That's right.
And God said, that's not the sacrifice I want you to do. What I'm saying is don't eat the Big Mac. Don't go after the flesh. Eat the salad. Eat something that's more healthy for you.
Right.
In other words, He said, eat my word.
Well,
I know you're saying, I want to feel loved, and you out there, you want to connect with somebody, and you get with the wrong person, and you want to feel this, or you go to a church that preaches good to you, and I say it preaches good to you. I didn't say teach you. I didn't say guide you. I didn't say grow you. But they preach to you to make you feel good about the sin that you're in.
Right.
And it makes you feel good. But the thing is, you end up empty.
well, that's right.
Amen.
You feel good for that day, and you leave, and you end up empty. You can't make it through that week, but you can't make it out of the parking lot without cussing somebody out. I'm going to tell you, see, when you get fed with the Spirit, you just can't go out in the parking lot and curse somebody out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you. If you can leave this church and you can walk out of here and still talk bad about somebody the way you came in, either I didn't do my job or you weren't listening. And I know I'm giving God's word.
Come on, brother. All right. Come on.
Did you hear what I said? So therefore, you got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. And that means they sacrifice. They sacrifice in the heat, the sandstorms, the wind, the blisters. You know, I didn't see nowhere in there where they talk about complaining. It's amazing. When the children of Israel were doing God's word, they complained. But here we are doing the fleshly word of the devil. We ain't complaining. We don't never complain about doing stuff wrong.
No, thank you.
You're going out drinking, getting drunk. You ain't complaining about that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I know that drinking. I always tell them, you don't need to go out and drink. You don't need to do that and drive. Well, you know, it'll be all right. But then if I get a ticket, I just get pulled over and I pay the fine. That's why I'm an attorney. That's the route we take. So you'll pay the sacrifice for having a DUI. But that's what we do. We'll pay the sacrifice of sin, but won't pay the sacrifice for eternal life. That's all He's asking. That's all He's asking. I mean, we spend more time on watching the TV, watching the news, being on social media, but we don't spend that same kind of time in reading the Word of God.
That's right.
Sharing the Word of God. We'll know. I run across people, I'm all the way across the country, I run across people that come and say, hey, Pastor Ward, how you doing? How's your daughter doing? And I don't even know who they are. My wife hates it, my daughter hates it, but it happens because of social media. They're like, you know, your daughter just did this and da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, and I'm like, but you don't know anything about the Word of God.
Right, that's it.
You know, you'll talk about, well, I caught this sermon that you preached, I follow this, I do this, but you're not studying the Word of God for yourself. And that's what we do. We do everything else instead of doing what God has told us to do to build up ourselves. Because we don't want to sacrifice because it's uncomfortable. You know? So we have to sacrifice. And so you have to ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice? They sacrifice. And then the last thing we have to look at is, we have to have in the blueprint is realize that it's bigger than you. It needs to be bigger than you. It needs to be big. What God has you do must be bigger than you.
That's right.
for God to step into it.
That's right.
If you read this, what God said is, he said, look what man happens, what they will do when they come together and they're unified. If we come together, he says, there is nothing we can't do when we come together. Can you imagine God? God said that. He said, everything, you know, pastors, we have these conversations, man, it's useless. The church ain't going to change. These people ain't going to change, you know. But God said it. That is, you know what God said?
Right.
He says, there is nothing impossible for them.
That's right.
When they are unified and come together. And they speak the same language. So he had to go around and he had to confuse some things. He had to shake some things up because we will be diligent about being rebellious. You know, my daughter does babysitting. She was telling about a young girl that she was babysitting that didn't want to take a bath. The girl got the bath water was raining. She got in the bath water, splashed water around and sat there for a while. Never did bathe and then said she ready to get out. I want you to think about that for a second. That's just a terrible thing, isn't it? But that's what we do in church. They come in, they splash some stuff around, but they never get clean. They never bathe. You know. Think about it. What's the point? All that time she spent there, what could she have done? Got some soap, some water, wash herself around. You know? But we choose to not do that because we're so rebellious. We will, matter of fact, I'm sure you know people that are so good in doing bad that they only did good. They're so good at doing bad. I know. I used to traffic cocaine. I was good at doing bad. Okay?
All right.
I was good, real good. Understand? Many of y'all were good at being bad. Before God snatched you up and gave you a wife and realized what you would have meant to be right. You were good at being bad. Matter of fact, I don't even teach some of you. The funny part about it is, Pastor, is, you know, women are, when you look at it, women do more evangelizing than men. You know, by number-wise, women will go out and evangelize than men. If you ever, when you see Jehovah's Witnesses at your door, are there more women than men? The only religion you really see more men in is the Nation of Islam.
That's right. That's right.
Think about it. Everybody else, you see women, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's not that men don't know how to.
That's right.
Y'all, you gonna tell me y'all don't know how to talk to people? No, let's talk that little black book. You understand? Y'all remember that little black book, don't you? For my younger people, we had phone books that had phone numbers in. We Rolodex. We didn't have the phone. You know, we didn't have all that back then. But you know how to pull them in. You know how to pull them in the club, didn't you? I know Pastor Hodo never did it. He was a good guy. You know. I know that. I know that. He was a good guy. That's right. That's right. You know. So praise God. Praise God. You know. So the thing, and that's the thing. When you look at it, they knew how to evangelize. But the thing is, you have to realize that it's bigger than you. And what we feel is that we handle what we can handle. Men, I used to wonder, I had friends that were ugly, and they would pull some beautiful women.
I know, man. I know that.
And I said that, bruh. And I guess that is called shade. I was like, why are you with him? I know he's ugly. He ain't dumb. He's my boy. And I know he's dumb. But you all just be all in love. But you know what? He realized that what he was always doing was bigger than him. He would always get a woman that was better than him. You know? The funny part about some of us, we get so holy and righteous that we try to operate in where we are right now. Or matter of fact, we try to be the smartest person in the room. Let me tell you something. You'll never accomplish anything being the smartest person in the room.
Amen.
Did you hear what I just said?
Amen.
You want to start a business? Do not surround yourself around people that are less smart than that are not smart than you. You better have people around you that are smarter than you.
That's right.
That know what you don't know.
That's right.
That see what you can't see. Because that's the only way you're going to grow.
All right.
See, Nimrod was a great leader because of the fact that he surrounded himself around people that could see and do what he couldn't do.
Right.
And he did what he did well, and he let them do what they do well.
Right.
Did you hear what I just said? When you're building, you do what you do well, and let everybody else do what they do well, and stay out their business.
Come on. Right. All right, sir. Right.
Don't come to me talking about what the ministerial staff ain't doing. And you're on the deacon board. Can you just be a servant, an armor bearer, and do your job?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Can you handle that rep? You good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let the choir come and tell you how to be a good armor bearer, because that ain't their job. Y'all just sing, okay? Okay? All right. I'm just saying. And for the same reason, I don't need the hospitality staff sitting and telling me how to pastor. Don't come and tell me how to do my job.
All right.
Okay? Just abide in the office in which you were called. I think that's what the Bible says. Is that not what it says?
That's what it says.
But that ain't what we do.
Right.
That ain't what we do. Can you imagine a person who's supposed to be doing beams, laying the beam in the scaffold, trying to tell a crane operator how to operate a crane, and he ain't never been up there.
Right.
He don't even know what the altitude it is to go up there.
Right.
And the funny part about it is, if I told you to climb that ladder to the crane, you'll probably be fearful because it's so high up.
Right.
But you want to tell him how to do his job.
That's right.
No.
All right.
You better stay right there and deal with that scaffold. Okay?
Amen.
There's an electrician that deals with when you're building. And electricians, they can't sit back and tell the people that are laying brick and mortar. And the brick and mortar will get to the electrician what to do.
That's right.
Because see, watch this. One is building the foundation, and one is giving you power.
All right.
Y'all missed it. There's some people in the church that's helping build a foundation. And there's some people that's giving it power. You understand? There's some people that's delegating authority, he don't do nothing but tell them what to do. That's his job as the foreman. His job is to oversee to make sure everybody doing their job. If he never picked up a broom in his life, if he never quote a scripture in front of the pulpit, he's doing the job he's commissioned to do to make sure everybody doing their job. It's called accountability. You understand? That's why it has to be bigger than you.
Right.
It has to be bigger than you. Because if it's not bigger than you, we're going to make excuses. We're going to control the situation. We're going to manipulate the situation because of the evil that's in our flesh.
Well.
But then God said,
All right.
after he confused everything, and he realized that he had to scatter the people off. He realized that I can't make life impossible for me. Because what I did was disrupt their possibilities in themselves. But I can't make life impossible.
That's right.
And what I will do to make it possible is that I am the possible.
Amen.
Impossible. I am possible. Through me. If you look at it, it says in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Matthew 19:26, he says, but Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, with God all things are possible. Luke 1:37 says, for nothing will be impossible with God. And Mark 10:27 says, Jesus looked at them and said, with man all things are possible, for all things are possible. Again, see, here's the thing. Everything, even in Matthew 17:20, he says that because your little faith, for truly I say unto you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you will see this mountain move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you.
That's right.
Understand something. Nothing is impossible with God.
Amen.
But can you imagine for a moment as I close, if we come together, begin to speak of one language of love, and we begin to understand, have the vision, we begin to understand the purpose of the vision, we begin to work within the vision, We begin to be unified in communication of the vision through God, showing the fruit of the Spirit, and abiding in it. We're willing to sacrifice, and then we realize that we need God to tie it all together. That means that we have a double possibility for everything to be accomplished through Him, with Him, because of Him.
Amen.
If we do that within our life, in our family, and in our church, there will be nothing that cannot and will not be accomplished.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
But it takes us to give it up and follow the blueprint.
Amen. Amen.
Now, many of you are sitting here and you've amen, you've heard everything, and some of you took notes, and some of you have been counting the time, waiting for me to shut up and sit down. You know, because you know I'm not going to be here too long. I'm done. I'm done. But my question to you is this.
All right.
Who's willing to make that change?
Amen. All right.
See,
Make that change.
the problem that we have is this. We tend to, I'm sorry, can I move this? I'm sorry, you know, I'm just doing stuff like, you know. I'm gonna move them right now. Y'all gonna move. Here's the thing. We all have a purpose. Every single one of us. Every single one of us have a purpose.
Yes.
And have a job and have a task. Now, you all got a piece, right? You got a jiggy piece. What I want you to do is I want you to come here. Now, Pastor, you first. Because you know you got to lay the foundation. Yes, put the piece down. Just put it right down in your seat. There you go. All right.
There you go.
All right. Look at my deacons over here. All right. Anyway. All right. I got any ministers here? Any ministers?
I just gave mine.
You just did yours? Okay. Come on. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, I did this for a reason.
All right.
You just see a foundation was being laid, right?
All right. That's right.
Now, there's several ways we can go with this.
That's right.
We can go wider and not as high. We can go narrow and go higher. But the higher you go, the wider and the deeper you have to go. You know that.
That's right. That's right.
See, sometimes we want to have like Nimrod and go to the heavens,
All right.
but we don't want to go deep enough to have a foundation.
Well.
We don't want to go wide enough to have a firm foundation. See, what does that look like? That means that it's going to look like there's no growth in the beginning
Right.
because you're going down.
Going down.
And literally, you're losing ground.
Well. That's right.
You are, because you have to excavate the ground. You got to take it.
Dig it up.
And did you know, when you do that, when you're excavating and you're digging the ground, before they put dirt back in, they have to test the soil.
That's right. That's right.
They have to keep testing the soil because they say, I don't know, because I know you came from here.
Well.
But since we had to turn some things and move some things around, you might have been compromised.
That's right.
And I can't allow you to go back here in the state that you're in.
That's right.
Because you were compromised.
Right.
And that compromise is going to compromise what we're doing here. It's going to disrupt the foundation.
Right.
So it has to be tested. So sometimes when we're going through these changes, you all get mad at the pastor. Why are you questioning me? Why are you challenging me? Because I got to make sure that you have not been compromised.
Come on, sir.
I got to make sure you're the same. I got to make sure that you're still going to be good for what I need. You're going to be good soil. And that you won't take whatever it was when we moved you because you're not in the same position. You don't have the same title. You don't have the same seat. You don't have the same class. That you didn't go out and start talking negatively about the church, about people, and compromising what we're trying to do right here.
Come on, bro.
So therefore, it needs to be tested. That's why I got to call you in to make sure you okay.
All right.
You all right? You good?
Yes, sir.
And don't just tell me you're good and you ain't good.
All right.
If you don't like what I say, say it. Pastor, you preached on this Sunday. Okay, all right. Now, I don't have to agree with you, but I am going to take it into account.
That's right.
Okay? Understand, I don't have to agree with you.
Right.
You ain't got to agree with me.
Right.
But we're going to do this thing and work together.
Amen.
Amen. So here's the thing. The thing is, we can't build this foundation going deep, can we? We got to start at certain stuff.
That's right.
I like what you all did. See, most people, when they get jingle, they just do the 3 pieces, and that's it. Now, you know, the problem with that is it goes high, and it begins to wobble. What you all did is you set the foundation to where, you know what, when people build off of it, it's going to be wider. It's going to stay.
That's right.
So I want y'all to come and bring your piece in. Everybody, come on, let's get up. That's okay. Bring your piece. We're going to build. We're going to build. Let's build. Let's build. Let's build. Let's build. Let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. Come on, let's build, let's build, let's build. We're gonna do this thing, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna do this thing. All right, come on. There we go, sister, that's what I'm talking about. Come on. There we go, we're doing good. Let's build, that's what I'm saying. Come on. Come on, let's get high. Come on, there we go. Come on, amen. We build. Oh, yes, amen. Come on. Amen. God is good, isn't he? You see how everybody's doing their job. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. It's always that one. Amen. Oh, see, I'm gonna tell you something. See, look at this. Now, I want y'all to see something. What you all set in place was a construction, and each one of you had a part in it.
That's right.
Now, the funny part about it is, no one told you where to put your place,
That's right.
did they?
No.
And no one got mad at you for where you put it, did you?
No.
Some of you looked at it and was gonna go one place, but you realized, no, it would be better fit here.
That's right.
And no one oversaw you because you do what you do. But we built the structure.
Right.
As a matter of fact, watch this. There was a gap that was missing here. And as me as the overseer, the foreman, I saw that hole.
That's right.
And here's where pastors, we sometimes mess up. We get busy and try to jump in that hole and fill it ourselves.
Right.
Instead of letting that fall come together. Or sometimes you all as members want to come to us and say, well, Pastor, there's a hole right here. We ain't done yet. But there's a void. We ain't done yet. Let the course let it take its course. It ain't done yet. It ain't finished. But Pastor, it's empty. I get it, but we ain't done yet.
Yeah.
When we finished, I didn't tell no who filled in the gap. Who was it that filled in the gap? Raise your hand. Did I tell you to do that? Do you see what I'm saying? God's going to send the right person to fill a void where it's empty at. And the funny part about it is, the person may already be there. It's just not the season or the time for it yet. So you just do you. Do what God told you to do and work with what's in your hand. And stop worrying about what's in everybody else. If you didn't get anything else from me this morning, I want you to understand that you have a purpose, you have a calling, and there's a desire that God has for you. But it's up to you to do it. Okay? You can make excuses all day long, but it excuses you from nothing. But the first thing we got to do is make sure that you're right. So if there's anybody here that has not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right now I just want you to raise your hand. See, the reason I say this is that I'm testing the soil here. Because see, many of us, and I know we always say, once saved, always saved. I get that. I don't argue over that thing right there because see, I don't argue over semantics because that's the whole way of people just trying to bait you into something so they can't deal with the real issue of getting your life together. You understand?
Right.
You know, are you living the life that God has commissioned you to live as being a believer of Christ. Let me say that.
Amen. Amen.
Now, does that mean that you do everything perfect? No, we all got some issues. Okay? You know I got some, and I pray every day. Every day. But the thing about it is, when I'm called and I know it, I admit it. I'm not hiding behind it. Now, if you're hiding behind your sin and you think it's okay, I want you to bow your head. See, I'm not gonna call you out. I want you to bow your head, and then we're gonna come down for prayer.
Amen.
I want you to bow your head. If you know there are things in your life this week that you realize that you've fallen short of, that your sacrifice hasn't been true sacrifice. You've been complacent. You're not following your blueprint. Bow your head. You realize that you got to change some things in your life. That you've been looking at everything about what everybody else is supposed to be doing and not about what you do. You're making excuses, maybe whether it be financial, whether it's about somebody in your house, whatever it was, you wanted to be about everybody else, but not about you. You want to talk about how everyone else's attitude was bad. And that's why you couldn't do what you needed to do. I don't care how bad someone's attitude is. You still love them in spite of. That's not your job to stop because of them. It's your job to keep moving in spite of them. Here's the funny thing about the Tower of Babel. God saw the rebellion of man and still did not kill man.
That's right. Amen.
Can you imagine that? He could have wiped us out, Pastor.
Amen.
He just said, no, I'm just going to send you on your way. I'm going to make you do what I want you to do. So as we bow our heads, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you saying thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you because of the fact that we realize that you could have destroyed us, but you spared us.
Yes. Yes.
That we've gone this far doing the things that you commissioned us and told us and commanded us not to do.
Yes.
But we did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you for your grace.
Yes.
We thank you for your mercy.
Yes.
Father, we ask that you encourage us, you strengthen us, and you empower us to continue to do right. If we have not had our hearts restored right, Father, we ask that you cleanse our heart.
Yes.
Give us a fresh heart, a renewed mind, a spirit to love you, to chase after you,
Yes.
to be one with you. A spirit of unification, a spirit of harmony, not one of dissension and deceit.
Well.
Move on us right now.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Father, right now, there are a couple of us that have been acting the part, or have been doing the part. We've just been getting in the bathwater, splashing around and not bathing. Cleanse us, Father.
Please, son. Please, son.
Purify us.
Yes. Yes.
Father, meet those individuals where they are. And if there's one that has not accepted you, Father,
Come on.
we ask them to come in.
Yes. Lord Jesus.
We believe that you must confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. We realize that He's a living God. He's a living sacrifice.
Thank you.
Father, right now, let them come in. Many people, they may be thinking it's not necessary for me to come down for people to see me, but it's an openly confession. How can you be ashamed of accepting Him?
Yes.
But yet you want Him to grant you
Yes.
life eternally. We should be openly and publicly confessing our love for Him.
Yes.
If there's one. If there's one that realizes you want to get it right today, and you've been going through some things you want to change. You've accepted Him, but you realize that you have a sacrifice for Him. Please come.
Yes.
Because we realize that, we can't worry about what people think about us. Can't worry about how people see us. We have to be true to ourselves for Christ. When we was out there in the streets, we weren't worried about people seeing us drunk and cursing and doing everything else. Why are we worried about what people see us in? We want to live for Christ. Come down. We offer Christ to you. We offer Christ to you right now.
All our troubles gone. As soon as it gets here, I have a new song. Sunday come, I don't have to